Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Price Check Podcast. I am your host, Josh Price, on the In the Zone Network, where we go city to city, state to state, worldwide. The NBA world revolves around Denver right now. We have a new NBA champion. The Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals here in 2023, 4-1 over the Miami Heat. In a series that, of course, looks like I predicted right. I didn't predict the games right. I said Nuggets in 6, but I did predict the correct winner. And I guess we got to give the Nuggets their flowers, man. They got out in a game last night where they were kind of down. Most of it was back and forth a lot of the second half. Real tight game for the most part, but they were able to pull that one out and deliver their first NBA championship in franchise history. Still for some choice words for Stan Kroenke. He's, of course, the owner of Denver Nuggets, as well as Colorado Avalanche and Los Angeles Rams, who've also won championships within the last year or so. Not celebrating him at all, but wanted to make sure to give flowers to the folks in Denver. Nikola Jokic to start, Finals MVP, crazy series closeout, 28 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists for the playoffs. Averaged 30 points a game, 13 and a half rebounds a game, and 9.5 assists a game. Just completely dominant performance from him all the way throughout. Much deserved for him winning that Finals MVP last night. And also, this is where I admit, even when my team isn't winning, I'm a sucker for championship celebrations, y'all. Typically, any championship celebration, I don't care what sport it is, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whatever. Every one of those championship celebrations has at least two of the following. Star that has overcome, some type of hurdle, or, they're finally getting to the top of the mountain after being, whether it's so close to winning or putting up great numbers, which, of course, Jokic kind of falls in that category. You also could kind of throw Jamal Murray in that category, too, given that he was coming off of missing the better part of like 2 seasons here the last couple years before winning this championship. You got the one role player who has been on like team after team, journeyman, trying to find his spot and finally gets himself a ring. You actually got 2 of those examples on the Nuggets as well. Ish Smith, who didn't play in the series, and Jeff Green. And then you typically have the one role player that is like super fun that nobody knew was like the cool, like fun, drunk dude. I imagine once we get to like the parade, that's probably going to be Bruce Brown. But if not, I'm sure, again, we've already checked off 2 of the 3 boxes. But at the end of the day, it's a team that deserved that championship win that they got last night. A lot of those guys who have put in the work, you got guys like Michael Porter Jr., who've also dealt with injury after injury and fought his way back, had a real big impact on the game last night with a double-double in that win, doing everything from a rebounding standpoint that Denver asked of him. You got a guy like Aaron Gordon, former lottery pick, didn't quite work out for him in Orlando. They ship him out to Denver. He's able to find his niche and find a role with a team that knew how to use him and put him in the best positions to be successful. So, got to tip my hat to the Denver Nuggets, our new NBA champions. I even, went some Nuggets adjacent colors today just for them. But championship now in the books. Gotta say, though, we're probably not giving Denver as much credit as they should get. And we might see that play out here as we lead up to, championship parade and things like that. But little fun fact for us here. Since the NBA went to 7-game series in all 4 rounds, so that's the year 2003. 2003 playoffs were the first year where you had 7-game series in the first round and then throughout the finals. Denver is only the second team besides the Golden State Warriors in 2017 to win the NBA championship with 4 or fewer losses in the playoffs. Now, granted, that Golden State team, their only loss at all in the playoffs was, I believe, Game 4 of the NBA Finals, or Game 3 of the NBA Finals to Cleveland. One of those games where Cleveland went off and hit like 20 or 21 threes, something crazy like that. That was their only loss for that playoffs. Nuggets, only 4 losses total here in the playoffs. for them. And you got to remember, two of those losses came against the Suns, where you had Devin Booker and Kevin Durant going like nuclear. They had to put up like 85 points combined just to get those two wins off. Didn't lose it all in the Lakers series. Of course, lost a crazy game 2 in this series, and then lost a weird win in the first round to the Timberwolves. But all in all, man, this was a dominant run for them. Say what you want about the teams they ran into. I think, just like in every playoffs, there's some luck involved in terms of matchups, things like that. But I also think this Denver team showed it to us in the regular season. They were the best team in the Western Conference, at least in the regular season. And, of course, the best team all the way throughout the playoffs. So, flowers to Denver. Also, shout out to the Miami Heat, man. Hell of a run that they had. Obviously, only the second 8 seed ever to go to the NBA Finals. They just ran out of gas, man. And also, it don't help that you run out of gas against a team that's more talented than you. We saw, a lot of folks, not only in my mentions, but just on the Twitter timeline in general, talking about, what happened to playoff Henny. He was that for 2.5 rounds, and pretty much after he re-aggravated his ankle injury against the Boston Celtics, was not the same guy, not only for the rest of that series, but also really at all in these NBA Finals. And so we've seen this happen with Jimmy, of course, in the bubble as well, where he gave so much and then had to kind of, fall back a little bit in terms of what he was able to give game in and game out. And I think when you look at that, maybe he is putting too much of himself out there and getting through rounds like 1 and 2 without being able to save enough of that energy to be able to push through the entire playoffs. But that's, again, also a little bit more indicative of the team that's around him as opposed to Jimmy Butler himself. So I'm sure Miami, they're going to do some work this offseason, tweak some of the pieces on that roster. I think, you got guys like Gabe Vincent who are going to be free agents, which we'll see, what they do to retain him. But that does lead us into a nice little discussion about what to look forward to now that the finals are behind us. We don't have any more NBA games left now until September, whenever the preseason rolls around. But there's a lot to look ahead to this offseason. Probably going to get a lot of player movement this offseason. We talked about, obviously you mentioned some of the free agents for both sides here, I guess, for the Heat. We got a couple guys probably that are going to be free agents for Denver, but they'll be able to add a few fringe guys to that rotation as well. But as we start to see some of the little, new changes to the collective bargaining agreement, it's going to make it a lot harder for the teams that have spent a lot of money in recent years. Talking about teams like the Warriors, the Clippers, the Suns now. Those teams with those high payrolls, they're going to have to start moving some of those pieces around to be able to better equip their rosters with depth. We'll see how that goes. We're already seeing that, the Suns are potentially waiving Chris Paul. They're already talking about moving DeAndre Ayton. You saw the rumors come out yesterday about Jordan Poole possibly being on the move from Golden State. I imagine the Clippers are probably going to have to make some moves. We've even seen some things float out that Ty Lue is looking to get his way out of there as the coach. So a number of moving parts there, right? I think it all is going to start with draft night, which, of course, the NBA draft is June 22nd. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday here in June. I think it's going to start with draft night. We've also seen some rumors around some of the, lottery picks. Charlotte and Portland both have kind of floated out there that they might be open to a trade. You saw that also the Pelicans may be interested in moving up to draft Scoot Henderson, which, they got some pieces to be able to make that happen as well. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of interesting things that may play out here this offseason. I do think, though, I'm just going to throw this out here, my bold prediction for the draft, you're going to get at least 2 trades in the lottery. I don't know exactly who those 2 teams are. I'm assuming one of them is going to be Portland. Now, you could say they're going to trade that number 3 pick, or they might trade Damian Lillard. We don't know which one. I I wholeheartedly believe that 100% they are going to make at least one of those two moves, though. And we'll see kind of how everything else plays out. But you look at a team like Orlando that has like picks 6 and 11. I imagine they may want to trade one, if not both of those picks. Because, they're already a young team. How much of an appetite do they have to add more young players to that situation? Who knows? But I think we get at least 2 trades in those first 13 picks in the draft lottery. So that's a prediction for me. And I guess now we got to start talking about Denver's chances of repeating, which, as the West currently stands, man, I think they got a pretty good shot at it. I'm not going to predict that everything, changes from season to season. We don't know if they're going to come out with that same hunger, that same fight. But, Mike Malone said it in the post-game, celebration last night. They're not satisfied with just the one. They definitely want to get back out here and put themselves in position to win multiple championships, or at least be able to reel off another one, whether it's next year or beyond. So I think, though, if you compare this championship for Denver to anybody's, I kind of look at it similar to the Giannis title a couple years ago, where you had the one star that finally is kind of getting the recognition he deserves after, putting up a hell of a playoff performance to solidify that spot in the league. Jokic solidified this spot, man. Best player in the league right now. You can call out the defensive side of the ball, whatever. But in a league that doesn't have many lockdown defenders, and also a guy that I saw this series that was not just a turnstile or a layup line on defense. He actually, works at it. He's not, blocking a ton of shots or getting a ton of steals, but he's not out of position a terrible amount of times. And he's also, one of those guys that, 7 foot, 280 pounds. It's going to be hard to get around him or get through him. So Jokic is the best player in the league right now. It's his league, and we are just witnesses to it. So interested to see how he continues to build on that going into next year. But, he's starting to put himself in that all-time conversation. Not necessarily as the best center of all time. I think he got a lot of way to go before that. But just in terms of, top guys to ever do it. He's got 2 MVPs, regular season MVPs. He's got the finals MVP in a ring now. He's going to continue to build on that legacy, man. He arguably should have had a 3rd regular season MVP this year, but we're going to let Joel Embiid live on that one. I think it's a big Jokic celebration fest right now. Give that man his flowers, and give the Nuggets their flowers for a season well done and a championship well deserved. So now, of course, looking ahead to what the price check is going to provide this offseason. Mentioned it in my last episode, of course. Anthony Miller is now part of the In the Zone network. We're going to have him on here soon to talk Dallas Wings and WNBA overall. We also got a little bit of a series that we're workshopping here as far as the title is concerned, but we're going to get some friends and family of the show to come on and just talk about their basketball fandom, what things stuck out to them this season, what, some of their favorite basketball moments are in NBA history. We're just going to kind of talk through people from a number of different walks of life, whether they're close friends of mine, family, or just folks that, we've interacted with on social media, whoever. But we're going to do a handful of those interviews throughout the summer to kind of keep NBA content fresh. But also give y'all a chance to hear from some voices that y'all don't typically hear from. So, until then, though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me again, joining me here on The Price Check. Appreciate all of the likes, shares, and subscribes recently. We definitely are feeling the love over here. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow us, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Make sure you check us out. Wherever you check out your YouTube videos, reels, all of that good information, all of that good stuff, content, whatever you want to call it. Price Check is here. Until next time, Josh Price, check it out.